Rightio, well, let's talk about improv now. If you don't know what it's all about, you're going to know all about it by the end of the show tonight. So let's start this bit that we're talking about with a question. What do you think connects a head over heels love story over a Birmingham bin collector, a song about the M6 toll, and do I have to say this? And a statue of some earwax in Droitwich. Oh yeah, I think I do. Well, the answer is we'll have to go back to last week, courtesy of actors Rob Lane and Lawrence Saunders from the Improv Wolves group. Now, this is ahead of their first ever trip to the very famous Edinburgh Fringe. They're on talking about the joy and art of improvised comedy and the rather large carrot they dangled in front of us here on the radio.
It's the ultimate collaboration and creativity, really, and there's a show. We have no idea what it's going to be 10 minutes before it happens. Often we have no idea what it was 10 minutes after it's finished happening.
Or during it.
Definitely during it. Us, as the performers and the audience, are collaborating to make this thing, which I personally find rather exciting.
Yes.
Edinburgh Fringe shows. Is this the first time that you've been to Edinburgh Fringe?
It's the first time that Improv Wolves have been. We've done other festivals around Ludlow, the Rickmail Comedy Festival and stuff, but Edinburgh is the most famous one and the most attended, most difficult. So it's our first time up there.
I guess you've got, as well as the audience, you've got critics, you've got people looking for the next new thing, I suppose. You know, it's quite a community of creatives, not just watching them, but they're watching you as well, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's got a history of that, I guess. So that's part of the draw with it for performers, audience and critics, and also the comedy industry, the television industry alike, I guess. That's why they're all drawn there, like a big Scottish magnet.
A big Scottish honey magnet type thing. Now, I know you're on your last few rehearsals, but you've kind of come to us because you want a hand with things. What would you like us to do here at Upload?
Well, if anyone can write the show for us, it's brilliant. Write the whole thing.
So the way that our shows generally work is we create scenes and characters and stuff on the spot, but we tend to use audience suggestions in the room for the stimuli to get us going with the ideas that we're going to do, basically. And what we thought would be interesting, as you say, to kind of help us practice doing that, is if we put out a call to your listeners, actually, to provide us some ideas, which we could go away and actually do some improvising, which we could then give back to you afterwards.
So that's exactly what we did. That was last week. And you were great at sending in your suggestions to the team at Improv Wolves. Now, the prompts, just to remind you, were times for people to meet and the petty things that annoy you. To find out how it all went, they are back. They are back here right now. So hello to you, Mr. Robert Lane. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, Nina. How are you?
I'm good. Nice for you to join us again. So I'm thinking that you've come back to talk to us because it went okay. Is that right?
We couldn't get anything. It was a complete waste. We couldn't do it was absolutely, it was fine. It was a lot of fun. You had Emma, Lee and I, after a rehearsal on Sunday, playing with some of them, and then you had Lawrence from his holiday in Kefalonia sent something over.
Oh, is that why he hasn't joined us on the call tonight?
That's what I have to do to keep him away, is send him all the way to Kefalonia.
Well, I don't think that's right. I think we should. Can't we just phone him up and FaceTime him anyway? He might be in a bar somewhere. Catch him doing something.
Possibly, we can certainly try. I don't know what it.
So, how are you getting on? You've got your final rehearsals coming up to Edinburgh. How are you feeling about it all?
We're really excited about Edinburgh. We've got our sort of last show before, which is this Saturday at Thimble Mill Library in Smethwick, which is a place that we like to play, so we're looking forward to that. And then it's literally just a matter of weeks till we're up in Edinburgh. So we're excited, a little bit nervous. We've got our flyers together now, which I can show you.
Yeah, I can see them. You're showing them in the camera. Because also, now, I don't know a lot about this, so you might probably shoot me down in flames, but flyers are very important in Edinburgh, aren't they? You're the self-promotion of you being an act appearing there it's all about you promoting yourself, isn't it? That's how you get people into your shows in Edinburgh.
Yeah, there's so much obviously happening up there over that 4 weeks. So much competition, so much competition for people's attention. And yeah, I believe that the thing is, if you can have some sort of contact with people and tell them a bit about your show, but also show them a bit of your personality or whatever as well, it's much more effective, because there's posters everywhere, of course, and there's flyers. There's the programme, which is that thick with the however many thousand shows.
So it's like a telephone direct. You think I'm sounding like an old person.
It's exactly like that. And what you tend to do as a viewer, I think, is look for the stuff you know, first of all, and programme that stuff. So it's really tricky to grab people when they don't already know about you. So yeah, that's where I believe that the flyers are important, and more so than a poster, because you've got that thing of putting them in someone's hand and telling them about the show.
Yeah, I guess so. And you're looking them straight in the eye and say, come and see me later on. You seem like a cool person. I'm terrified, but please come and see me and see what can happen later on.
Exactly right. And we're on a thing called the Free Fringe, the Laughing Horse Free Fringe, which it's pay what you can. You can either buy a ticket beforehand and decide what you're going to pay, or you can literally turn up for free on the day, and then there's a collection.
Wow.
At the end of the show. Yeah. So it's obviously, we'd love it if people pay beforehand, because that just means we know if we're going to have any audience or not. But then you have no idea till the show starts, so you can have in the room, which is quite exciting in itself.
Now, I think this is quite a modern cliche to talk about this, but sort of going back to looking at the Baby Reindeer series, which, obviously it started off at Edinburgh. It was the scenes of him being in a pub, and then you could hear just like an empty bucket with like just a couple of coins being dropped into it.
Yeah, and I think they were showing the football at the same time.
That's right. Yeah.
So at least know that our venue is a cool venue. It's called the Raging Bull, and it's like a cocktail bar place. But we're downstairs. The room won't have another bar happening at the same time. It's its own dedicated space, so that's always helpful, I think. And our time slots are interesting as well. We're at 12:15 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Which I think is all right for us. I think there'll be people, around at that time of day. I think too early in the morning is hard. Too late at night is hard. I think that's pretty perfect, because I reckon, if only going by my own standards, I reckon if I was in Edinburgh, I'd probably be up about 10:30 after maybe staying out late the night before. I'd hope that I would have had kind of a big kind of Scottish breakfast, and maybe because I'm up there to go and see the comedy, maybe I'd be a pint and a half in maybe by that point. Is that kind of what you're seeing? Is that impressive? Well, we'll certainly see. I think that would be about perfect for us. I think actually a pint in after a big Scottish breakfast sounds pretty good. People loose enough, they're going to give us some nice suggestions and enjoy the stuff without the improv shows are interesting as well. It's like venues. Traditionally, improv doesn't always work in a comedy club, because it's a bit too combative a situation, really.
How do you mean? How would you describe? Why would you say that?
If you've got people shouting out in a comedy club, it's usually because they're heckling, and not in a particularly helpful way necessarily. I mean, that can be a great part of a stand-up show. It's just a different thing. But then also, we play theatres, which is great as well. But you can have the opposite effect in theatres sometimes, where people are a little bit too formal. So there's kind of this in-between feeling where you want people to be relaxed like they are at a comedy club, but also we do consider ourselves to be a theatre as well. So it's interesting in between the two, I think, which is we enjoy trying to find that balance and create it in the way that we set rooms up and stuff.
Yeah, and I guess that's really important when you look at venues where you're going to perform. I'm just thinking some of the venues that I've been to see comedy, yes, have been very different to the venues that I might go and see a theatre, and very different crowds, and you're not supposed to shout out, are you, if you're in the audience in a theatre? So I guess it's getting the mindset of the people who are there watching you. It
is, and what's so interesting about the shows that we do, whenever we always sort of say, give us a shout if you've been to an improv show before. People will give us a shout if you've never been to an improv, and there's always people in the room, it's their first ever experience of going to an improv show. So in that sense, you kind of have to teach them that we're asking them to give us stuff, and we're asking them to be part of it, but only when we're asking them to, not necessarily the whole time. So yeah, you kind of feel like we're sometimes educating people in this whole little art form itself, which is good fun, really. Like, and everyone knows what the deal is when you go to see a stand-up, I think.
Yeah.
And everyone knows what the deal is with going to a very serious theatre show and stuff. But it's interesting to be in a form where it's new to people, I think.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about your favourite prompts that you had from us last week, but has there ever been a situation, and not to make you nervous about going to Edinburgh, where you've had a couple of prompts and you have just thought, there is nothing I can do with this? Or have you got like a coping way in case? I mean, what have you ever felt that at all?
Yeah, there's classic ones. All improvisers will say that, and I probably can't say a couple of them on the radio, but there's things that people, if you ask people to shout stuff out, there's a couple of words that people will shout out.
I can imagine, yeah.
A couple of cliches and you just sort of say, oh, we did that in our last show. We've done that plenty of times before. So it's about doing the ask for that encourages people to be interesting and creative, really. The problem is when people try and be super clever or super funny, because that's when it tends to be stuff that's like, oh, we've heard that before, or actually that's pretty offensive. There's not an awful lot we can do with that. So part of the trick actually is just being able to say no to a suggestion. I'm not claiming that we'll do any suggestion and that we'll take anything you say, because sometimes it's not appropriate. And part of the way that a group of improvisers handle that actually is a really interesting part of how they put their show together, and different people approach it in different ways. We're kind of open to almost anything unless it's boring, and with most stuff you get more than one suggestion is the other thing, so you can pick between the audience which one you think is the most interesting, or which one has got the most fertile ground. And it might not necessarily be the cleverest or the on the face of it the funniest, but it's just if it's something we've never heard before, that's quite interesting. We might like to play with that.
Yeah, and I can see how that kind of really sort of lends itself into the comedy side of it. I interviewed a comedian, Mark Simmons, a couple of weeks ago, and he throws out into the audience, what's your hobby? And he's all about the one-liners and people, throw back their hobbies. And yeah, you're right, actually. I'm just thinking about some of the ones that he's done. And it's not always, you're always going to get someone that's going to say a really clever thing. And, and others that might sound quite boring, I'm saying in inverted commas, but you can come back with something quite quick about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we both Lee and I in our group are shaven-headed people. So people quite often, usually other shaved-headed men actually tend to shout stuff out along those lines. And there's a couple of different ways of dealing with it. It's usually for us to be funnier about it than they are. So there's just the ways that you can deal with that stuff. But what we're looking for most of the time is something that will help us build characters and build scenes, really. Even when we're playing our games, which on the face of it are quite silly, what we're interested in is, I mean, it sounds a mad thing, this, in a 2-minute scene in an improv show, but to try and build little relationships between characters and make little stories. And when we're at our best and things go well, I think that's what we do, really.
You must have such quick brains. I've got no idea how you think that quickly. What were the kind of favourite prompts, really, that you had from the listeners from last week?
There was some interesting stuff. There was a lot of Midland-centric stuff, which is always fun to do, because you find that when you play in different places, it's always not always, but there's often suggestions that are very central to where you are. And if it's not from where you're from, you can stand there a little bit confused as to why we're saying something rude about the town that's 5 minutes away, but yeah, fine, whatever, that's all good. So there was plenty of stuff. The one that appealed to me was the small things that annoy you when people confuse Wolverhampton and Birmingham, because I'm from Birmingham, well, Solihull actually.
Terribly posh.
I now live in Wolverhampton, so I'm very aware of those. Just down to the accent. In fact, I was listening to one of my favourite podcasts today, and at one point somebody started doing a Birmingham accent, and it's that ain't a Birmingham accent. So yeah, I find all that stuff interesting, and it was fun to play around with those things that people confuse between the Black Country and Wolverhampton and Birmingham. I quite enjoyed that. And then there's a lot of bin stuff comes up at the moment. Again, understandably, it's a Birmingham local thing.
Yes.
It's quite fun, and we ended up with a song around the bins, which I think was quite good fun. So yeah, two of my favourite.
Well, I think we'll play it in a second. Just want to say to you, best of luck when you're in Edinburgh as well. And if you can maybe send us a couple of voice notes when you're there, we'd love to hear what it's like and love to hear how you're getting on. It'd be really good to hear from you.
We'd love
that'll be That'd be
nice to
lovely.
have someone friendly to send stuff to.
Yeah.
Because I think often, I mean, we're doing 6 shows actually over the course of a week, and a couple of us are in some other shows as well. So it's going to be a very intense week for us, as well as trying to see stuff and hang out with people as well. So yeah, I think it can be quite easy to get in just an Edinburgh mindset. So it would be nice to have someone to send some stuff to us, see how we're getting on.
Yeah, definitely. Send us some stuff, and we'd like to hear some of the gossip as well, what goes on in Edinburgh. Yeah, it's fine if you record it at 11 o'clock at night, send it. You might not remember it sending it, but we'd love to hear it.
You'll be out then by the sounds of things anyway. So you'll receive that quite happily. So.
Yes, I will. I'll understand everything you're saying. Well, best of luck. I hope it goes really well, and pleasure to have you on and catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Nina. Speak soon.
Speak soon. Take care. Thank you. So that is Rob Lane, who is from Improv Wolves. They're going to be going up to Edinburgh. First time as like a team from Improv to go and do shows, as you were hearing then. So well worth checking them out online. You can find out where they're going to be. Now, we need to hear them doing their thing, following the prompts that was sent by you listening this time last week. This is Improv Wolves doing their thing.
We're going to play word at a time, which will make sense as we do it, to you if not us. And we're going to tell you about when Michelangelo visited West Midland Safari Park. Emma, could you start, please?
Oh,
My word
this
is a
fabulous
extravaganza which
involves
many different
animals.
but however
My
favourite animal
is
the one
that
I am
talking
to right
now.
say hello.
My
Lima,
hello. I'm
Michelangelo's
Lima, and
I
choosing to
coalesce
a pardon with
his
favourite food
which
is spaghetti
and
bolognese. That's
all from
you,
today.
little
Lima, I
have
defecated where
I
should have
painted
I will
be
flabbergasted if
I
sell any
thing
from this
shop
in Dudley Safari
park.
Hello, loves. It's me, your favourite agony aunt, dear Deirdre. Now, I've had a letter from one of our lovely listeners in Bromsgrove. He's got a bit of an embarrassing situation, so I'm not going to mention his name, Dave Rogers. But anyway, Dave, he's written to me and he says, Dear Deirdre, I'm at my wit's end. I've had my AirPods now for a few months, and while they once were brilliant white, now they've gone all yellowy because of me earwax. What do you suggest? Well, Dave, I've got one thing to say to you. Wash your ears out, you filthy pig. Haven't you heard of soap and water? Failing that, you can remove the earwax using a cotton bud or the fingers of a small child, and then maybe you can do what a good friend of mine has done, Margaret from Droitwich, and she's made a statue out of all her old earwax. It's in memoriam to her favourite former Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and she's constructed a life-size 8-foot wax model of Liz Truss, which is erected in the centre of her ornamental fish pond, taking pride of place in a garden. Unfortunately, the heat wave has meant that the 8-foot earwax Liz Truss has melted, polluting the fish pond with a waxy oil slick, and that has caused the death of all of Margaret's goldfish and her prize-winning koi carp. Now, some might say that's a perfect metaphor for the state of modern Britain, but who am I to judge? So, Dave Rogers of Bromsgrove, I hope that helps. Much love, dear Deirdre.
So this is a reason for people to meet, and it's putting out the bins.
Oh, you're going to put them out like that again, are you?
Well, yeah.
That jaunty angle on the pavement.
Yeah, adds a bit of visual interest.
Do you think the bin man thanks you for that?
I've tried to arrange it in such an ergonomic manner that when he leaps from the back of the vehicle, he doesn't even have to rotate his torso to pull the bin towards the rear of the vehicle.
But when he rotates his torso is the best bit.
Emma should have sung.
It's not dirty. I've got a thing for my bin man. Yeah, I'm gonna get flirty when I put out my bins tonight. I wanna watch him rotate his torso. I wanna watch it get all hot, and though I know he's out of reach, it's crushing me.
Life's hard when your wife loves the bin man. Life's a struggle. Life's so different. I'm here doing my errands. I washed up and I've ironed, and this is the last one before we lay down in bed. And I hope that I might get some affection, but all her attention is left for the hours around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning when he gets here.
We both agree life is rubbish. We agree life is rubbish for you and me. Life is rubbish.
So we'll ogle the bin men together, you and me.
Life is rubbish.
Life is, hey,
Life is rubbish.
well, I'm a good provider.
Life is rubbish. Oh, Jeremy, the bin man, won't you see? I wanna leave me.
Yes, and I'm putting the bins out, leave them out here with my heart.
Wheel me away.
How many more pounds can we squeeze in?
Shove me inside a compactor.
There's a sack full in the bin.
There's the team of Improv Wolves working on the prompts that you sent them. We will hear a little bit more from them later on in the show, including a song about confusing counties, being trapped inside the HS2 tunnel, and trying to resurrect a deceased Wolverhampton music legend. Let's get straight into talking about improv. Not just any old improv, no. Improv that is going up to Edinburgh, going to the Edinburgh Festival. Now, they are a Wolverhampton-based comedy group, and they've let us kind of have a sneaky look, let us kind of go into their rehearsals for one of their biggest ever gigs. Friends of the show, Improv Wolves, this time last week, asked for your suggestions for their next bit of practice, really, because they're in their final rehearsals before they go to Edinburgh. And you did deliver, so thank you very much for the suggestions that came in. So kind of think of the mock the week scenes, would like to see whose line is it anyway, scenes from a hat. They asked for your prompts on times of people to meet and petty things that annoy you. Now, Rob Lane said that he was very, very impressed with your creativity.
There was some interesting stuff. There was a lot of Midland-centric stuff, which is always fun to do, because you find that when you play in different places, it's always very, not always, but there's often suggestions that are very central to where you are. And if it's not from where you're from, you can stand there a little bit confused as to why we're saying something rude about the town that's 5 minutes away, but yeah, fine, whatever, that's all good. There was plenty of stuff. The one that appealed to me was the small things that annoy you when people confuse Wolverhampton and Birmingham, because I'm from Birmingham, well, Solihull actually.
Terribly posh.
I now live in Wolverhampton, so I'm very aware of those, just down to the accent. In fact, I was just at one of my favourite podcasts today, and at one point somebody started doing a Birmingham accent, and it's that ain't a Birmingham accent. So yeah, I find all that stuff interesting, and it was fun to play around with those things that people confuse between the Black Country and Wolverhampton and Birmingham. I quite enjoyed that. And then there's a lot of bin stuff comes up at the moment. Again, understandably, it's a Birmingham local thing.
Yes.
It's quite fun, and we ended up with a song around the bins, which I think was quite good fun.
And so made in the West Midlands with a song about confusing counties. Quite clever wordplay, I would say, on resurrecting a Wolverhampton music legend and being trapped inside, well, a very well-known tunnel. This is Improv Wolves doing their thing.
This game is called Word at a Time. You'll see how it works, hopefully, if it works. And our location is inside a HS2 tunnel. Here,
In
The
darkness,
I
digging
and
grueling,
and
toiling.
but
soon
People
will
travel
along
this
tunnel,
in
there
hopeful,
ventures
what
better
way
to
spend
my
time
than
digging
this
tunnel
and
bettering
my
peers
through
my
advanced
technology
which
I
invented
and
am
using
and
exploiting
it
will
never
ever
become
finished
this
tunnel
will
never
end
and
I
will
have
all
the
dominion
of
this
tunnel moi
ha
ha.
This, I'm under the subject of petty things that annoy you. How many different ways are there to describe a bread roll?
Cob,
bat
muffin of dreams,
batch
grandmother's slipper,
bready fingers
the ham embracer,
between two soft thorns,
stuck between my teeth and never forgotten,
closed sandwich,
a fist full of flour,
a fistful of fun,
a fist full of avit,
an avenue of wonder,
the common man's crudité,
Meat vessel.
container of me. This is something petty that annoys you when people can't say Worcestershire.
Gonna slip off of the M5, going to a nice new county. Who knows what I'll discover there? No tourist guide to show me its bounty. It's Worcestershire.
Worcestershire,
Yes, it's Worcestershire.
Worcestershire,
I hear they make sauce there. I hear they make sauce there. Leon Perrins, but it'll be mine soon. When I get to Worcestershire, I'll be there soon. I hope it's as good as that time in Cirencester, or that time I went to Bicester and I expected 2 towns, not one. All Leicestershire, with a football team that did really well, but not so much anymore. Oh, those quaint British towns. Oh yeah. Then that's the Cirencester. Oh, in Worcestershire. Yes, Worcestershire. Such a saucy place. It's a saucy place for me and my wife. Maybe we'll stop there forever. Buy a house, make a life. Just me and my wife in Worcestershire.
Right, we're going to play a game called New Choice, the rules of which will become apparent. The prompt for this is a petty thing that annoys you, and it's people conflating Birmingham and Wolverhampton. Off you go.
Do you know who I saw is really famous from Birmingham?
Who's that?
Lenny Henry.
Lenny Henry ain't from Birmingham, he's from Dudley.
Oh, I'll tell a lie then. But I did see Ozzy Osbourne.
New
He's from
choice.
Blackburn. I did see Adrian Charles. He's from Birmingham.
New choice.
He's West Bromwich lad.
Is he?
Aye.
Oh. Well, who have you seen famous from Birmingham?
I'll tell you what I've seen. HRH, Her Royal Highness, Miss Beverly Knight.
New choice.
Mr. Beverly Knight.
New choice.
The sadly departed Beverly Knight.
New choice.
She's only got on a bus back. I was just listening to her on the way over and I thought that's the voice of an angel. That is an angel who was thrust forth from the very rectum of this great nation.
New choice.
From the open wound of this great nation, which is Birmingham city centre.
Well, I'll tell you who I saw as well, actually. Julie Walters.
Julie Walters, I've got to be honest with you, I don't know where she's from.
New choice.
Accent. No one knows where she's from. She's a mythical being.
She's a mythical being.
She's a mythical
I think
being.
she might be from Smethwick as it goes, actually.
This is from a mythical place, and all that.
Oh, Smethwick is a mythical place.
New choice.
Smethwick is a truly fantastic place.
New
It
choice.
is. No, we're not taking a different choice to that. Smethwick is wonderful.
Why is it so great in Smethwick?
Because the Improv Wolves are playing there on Saturday night, you see.
And what time's that?
7 p.m,
Oh,
which
so
I was saying until you interrupted me. The library, Thimblemill Library. And if you don't like the performance, you can sit there and read a book instead out of the heat, can't you?
Also, 50% of Improv Wolves live in Smethwick. So.
Which makes it incredibly convenient for the commute.
Whereas the other two made a new choice.
Hey!
There you go. That's the Edinburgh Fringe bound Improv Wolves. Those suggestions came in from you last week. So thank you very much for those. And you can catch them on their warm-up for the Fringe. A Saturday night in Smethwick